is that this is what inclusive communications looks like. When we started in 1996 working with ethnic media, community-based organizations needed us. We were the ones who turned out for the press conferences. We were the ones who really were able to amplify the issues of community-based organizations. And if you remember the remarkable work that Black media did for the March on Washington in 1995, it was seen by mainstream media because it was organized by Farrakhan as something everybody should bury and condemn. And I was on that march, the Million Man March. There were 1 million people in Washington. And if you stepped over somebody's foot, that person apologized. It was a very inspiring event. We brought many of our youth there. And it was entirely due to Black media. So ethnic media were invisible, but they were powerful. Today, 1 out of 14 jobs in California, and I learned this from my friend Jan Masuoka, who's retiring from Cal Nonprofits. 1 out of 14 jobs is in the nonprofit sector. And it brings $40 billion a year to the state of California from grants outside, government grants, foundation grants. The community-based organizations are part of the nonprofit sector, which is hugely powerful now. So for years, we have seen an enormous need for synergy with these two sectors. And as media deserts grow, as general market media loses the capacity to really tell stories, which was never exactly what we all hoped for and wanted, but many of us in mainstream media aspired to. As mainstream media shrinks dramatically, you hear about the death of local journalism. Nobody ever mentions that ethnic media not only hasn't died, but keeps reinventing itself or hangs on, absolutely determined. There's a new platform forming in San Francisco of Mongolian media. You know, you can't eliminate that impulse to witness, that curiosity to discover and then to share. And that's really what drives ethnic media and what drives community-based organizations is the passion to serve. There is so much synergy between our two sectors, but we in ethnic media need you. You, the nonprofit sector, are on the front lines of serving communities, and you're now vast. We are hanging on for dear life, many of us, with shrinking newsrooms, but an absolutely fierce determination to tell the stories from the inside out. San Diego Voice and Viewpoint, John Warren has done, see, this is the thing about ethnic media where we're so similar to you. The power of ethnic media is that we convene communities. this is very similar to, and that's, I think of John, I think of Monica Lozano, founded La Opinion, her grandfather did. But you ask them, what are you doing? Who are you? We are conveners of our communities. So there's a great synergy. And listening as you went around the room, there is a real potential, and this is what the State Library is most passionate about. It wasn't in the beginning. It didn't know a thing about ethnic media. It did know more about community-based organizations. But now it and the Department of Social Services are passionate because they realize we can't rely on social media, we can't rely on mainstream media. We need community-based organizations to work with ethnic media if we're really to build multiracial, cross-ethnic communication to hold our communities together. So this potential, and I just want to suggest 2 steps forward based on what we listened to and heard today. What I heard is a tremendous potential to work together. The first thing is we will provide everyone with a list not only of the community-based organizations and the issues you spoke to, and also a list of the media in this room and the audiences they serve and their passionate issues, okay? We need to take each other into partnership, if only to deliver what the State Library most wants, but frankly, more importantly, because we need each other. And the second thing is the bullying. There is, in this room, organizations that work specifically with young people. On focus groups we did with our ethnic media partners over the last couple of weeks, there was strong interest in working on an initiative around bullying, particularly for teenagers, young adults, in schools, on the schoolyards. And wouldn't it be great if we could organize a contest, and there were many people on our ethnic media roundtables who loved this idea and proposed this idea. If we could organize somehow a contest for this region, it could also be statewide. And the thing about the contest would be for young people to write essays about how I survived being bullied or how I survived being a bully. Because those are often equally powerful stories. I want to suggest something concrete that we can do together coming out of this meeting, something very tangible that wouldn't take an awful lot of time. But imagine having an event to showcase the winners. So the great thing about a contest is that it has long legs. It's not a one-off. It grows, and we need something to show ourselves, well, this is one way we all work together. It is definitely not the only way, because the third thing, but that's all on our media colleagues who are here, we, media, we heard so many great sources. I want to do an interview and a profile. I want to connect. I am El Intishar and Care are here. There are just so many ways in which we can follow up these conversations with our own stories. The difficulty of the Burmese, for example, and what you said about diaspora people bringing messages of hate from the homeland here. I mean, I'm speaking as a journalist. I was not aware of that. That's a very important story. There are so many story ideas that came from listening to the CBOs. And you, CBOs, what can we in the media do? You have a captive audience. And frankly, we need to show we can help you, because we need your advocacy voice so that the state might consider continuing supporting the Stop the Hate. And I'm serious, we are surviving because we are amplifying the messages state agencies need us to put out. And our biggest contract was the census. The next biggest was vaccinations. Now, a very big contract is Medi-Cal expansion, and which most undocumented immigrants are not going to know about unless we all work together. So I just want to say I came down, I've been in Houston, I've been in LA, I've been in Bakersfield, so many different places in the last 8 days. But I said, I absolutely have to go to San Diego, Julian, because it is where we're starting our first CBO Ethnic Media Year 2 project. And I want to see what comes of it. And thank you for Julian for letting me do the final takeaway. But yeah, I take away and I'm totally inspired. So thank you. I hope you see the potential that sharing this information gave us all. It is up to each of us, but EMS, working with Catalyst and the wonderful host today, we will be following up with that list by Monday. And we will be following up.
No.